Good afternoon, everyone. I'm hoping everyone has eaten well and are energized enough to begin with the second session of the day. We have an amazing line of presenters. We are starting with track 4, that is Emerging Trends in Design Education. Before that, I would like to call upon our Vice Principal, Architect Jayalakshmi Baragar, to give away the certificates of the presenters who have presented for the previous session, that is for track 1. So I would like to call Dr. Jagan Mohan to kindly come out and make his Can we have a big round of applause, please? Next, I would like to call upon Architect Sahil Tanvi and a big round of applause, Mr. Sahil Tanvi. And we have a listener, Mishri. A big round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much. We can finally begin with the presentations. To start with track 4, that is Emerging Trends in Design Education, I would like to call on Ms. Harshita V with her topic, Indulging Different Modes of Teaching Pedagogy. May we have the presentation, please? Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Komala with my co-authors Harshita and Suraj from School of Design and Digital Transmedia and Sagar University. So we are here to present our research paper on emerging trends in design engineering. So here, traditional method of teaching is not enough in design education, where understanding comes from doing activities, not just by listening. So we all follow the traditional method. So here, our research is based on three activities. One is gamification and sensor-based interaction, and the last one is physical prototyping. So the first thing is gamification. So in gamification, we came up with an application. So we designed an app. We took three students and we taught them a color theory. Color theory, how the color wheel and the complementary colors works, how it works, everything. Then what we did, we gave a test. We use traditional method like teaching showing some PPTs and then we gave a test. So with that test we got to know that students were actually they were not able to recognize all those things like they are not able to keep the colors in their mind. So we came up with an app that is color theory. So here what we did in a game application, few screens we designed like tutorials, what exactly is color theory, shades, trends and all those things. And then we thought complementary colors. So they actually play a game. So once now so for red, complementary color is blue. So this how they work, how they actually play is like there will be one color that is red and we give multiple colors. So when they select the right color and it will give some rewards and they go to the next level. So by this students will get motivated and they can remember the things. So this is on gamification and next is sensor based. So my co-author Harshita will explain on this.
So for the sensory based, what all the senses that we have, that is five senses. So according to that senses, we chose the colors for replicating that specific color. So for an example, red. If you take the red, the thing that comes into the mind is always the rose. So rose can be used for the smell. The smell of the rose can be kept in our mind very well. So next is yellow. For yellow, we took a smiley ball. So smiley ball, which has a texture which is soft. So they can incorporate that in their mind and think about yellow color. Whereas blue, for blue, as we just think about blue color, it is either sky or the ocean. So we took waves as an inspiration for blue color. So the same way, we took a pre-test before doing this activity, that is using this sensory based learning. So after that, we did a test regarding the, after giving the colors, we gave a test again. So according to the test that we got, so it says, according to the statistics, it says that yeah, when compared to the traditional learning, it is more good to have experiential learning. So the next another type of teaching that we use is physical prototyping, where we use colors, that is paint, to understand, to deal with it. and to make sure that so the students are more happy when they are just feeling the product or feeling the colors that we are giving them, all of us. So we had both quantitative and qualitative method that we have used. In quantitative method, as we gave two tests, we analyzed which is more better. From that, we understood experiential learning is more better when compared to the teaching that we do in day-to-day life. So yeah, so the results, according to the qualitative, that is, we would see in the engagement of the students very well. When we were teaching, the students were just learning and just doing their own work when we were teaching them using the blackboard or just a presentation. So, whereas when we had this interactive session, they were more focused on us as well as focused on what they were doing. So, I would like to speak on that.
So through traditional way of teaching, the understanding of the students, it would be a bit less. And moreover, when we talk about practical based and gamification or creating a prototype, understanding is much better. So if we yeah, so basically when we go back and see like we did the gamification and the prototyping at the same time, it was also based on sensory. So what was sensory? So basically we used to give suppose it was an orange color. So we gave them orange, so they smell and they eventually taste it also. So whenever they sense any kind of color based this thing, if they understand what is color, like how they are supposed to understand color, it can also be through sensory based. And physical prototype, they had much experience in hands-on experience on creating any of the products, which created a more insight and a hands-on experience, and which was registered in their head. And when we talk about so the last thing was gamification. This way of teaching improved the activity, and all of the students actually like to participate in this. And through this research, we like to conclude that traditional way of learning was actually good experiential method. And in various different domains, also we can inculcate this and have a better experience. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Sushant with his topic Beyond the Classroom, the Role of Experiential Learning in Architectural Education.
Good afternoon. This is Professor Sushant, Associate Professor at Boston University, and I am the author of the research title Beyond Classroom: The Role of Experiential Learning in Architectural Education. My co-author is Assistant Professor Praveen Jain and Architect Sargul. So, first of all, I would like to thank Acharya International Design Conference team for giving me the opportunity to present this particular research title. So overview of this particular presentation goes with the background, followed by aims, literature, methodology, case studies, results and findings, discussion, and conclusion. Starting with the background. So yeah, Indian architectural curriculum has long focused on Western monumental forms often neglecting the local regional context and practical skills. So there is a pressing need to realign education and contemporary challenges, making learning more hands-on, contextually relevant and adaptive to rapid challenges in professionalism. The aim is to explore experiential methods, integrating technology, culture, and field work. Objectives to evaluate hands-on, text-based, and community-driven methods to propose a scalable framework for curriculum integration. Research questions: how does experiential learning affect students' learning, and what tools and collaborations are more effective in this experiential learning process? Literature review. So, traditional master apprentice models fosters practical skills, but today needs go further. That is, experiential methods like participatory workshops, which theoretical knowledge from design application, and field trips and interdisciplinary studios enhance innovation and address global design challenges. An integration of AI and VR as we are moving towards more of artificial intelligence, the same aspect can be integrated into our learning process. Methodology is again a mixed method where data collection was taken through surveys and case study analysis. 450 students and 60 faculties across 12 institutes across India. The case studies were Indo-French pedagogical collaborations, heritage documentation workshop, and the writing workshop called Universal Writing. After data collection, data analysis based on thematic, frequency, and comparative analysis of case studies. Then followed by results and findings, discussion, and conclusion. So first case study is about Indo-French pedagogical collaboration in architectural dissertation. The city of Banaras was taken as a part of case, wherein French students from Architecture Institute and Indian students from Architecture Institute collaborated together to study the cross-cultural pedagogy. They studied Banaras city, which is a sacred city, and they documented the Banaras Ghat and its visit. They also documented the demography study and the role of stakeholders in this present area. So engagement with compact state network and arts allow deep learning of spatial organization and sacred geography through sketching and documentation. The structural learning framework was based for across the semester. It was not just for a week or 2 weeks, but it was across the semester, wherein from foundation research to advanced design development and presentation. So the comparison of French pedagogy and Indian pedagogy. So French pedagogy is more of process focused, while Indian is timeline based. We do, as an Indian pedagogy, we do our assessment of students from formal reviews and jury presentations, while French do it from critical analysis and reflexive journal. The outcome of this particular research is students develop stronger analytical thinking, critical reasoning, and documentation abilities. Cultural engagement enhance design contextuality and sensitivity. So this is an important case study where it is not taken as an elective, but as a design student for the whole semester. So as an institute or an academician, in forward-going context, we need to see to it that the electives should not be just part and parcel of a 1 week or 2 weeks program or on weekend. It should be part and parcel of our design students. And that's why we need to inculcate our curriculum to be very design sprint and cross-disciplinary. The second case study is beyond trends of documenting heritage and cultural footprint, a COITRC initiative. So this was started in a hybrid model where the faculty involved in this particular initiative, and then the online learning was taken on the field through photographic documentation. So students had been taken to a nearby village which had a heritage context where they documented various dwellings, and those particular architectural dwellings had certain details and vernacular style. Apart from that, they also documented a fort which is already recognized as a heritage structure. So the learning from this was exploring its architectural, cultural, and spatial heritage through photography and storytelling. So this is again an innovative method of taking forward experiential learning. And the teaching pedagogy was involved like photo essays, comics, short films, and narrative structures to engage students in heritage interpretation. So, what does UAPRC mandates and how it has been fulfilled in this particular case study? CUA says promote experiential learning. Yes, it is done through field-based training. CUA emphasizes skill development and documentation practices. Yes, through training in photography, writing, digital editing, and cultural mapping. Again, so encourages entrepreneurship in heritage and culture, development of creative storytelling as a tool. So we are missing in this part because it is again an elective part or a short-term design course. It is not fulfilled as a whole semester thing. But this kind of photo documentation workshop, how to do site analysis, case studies, this can be part and parcel of our design studios. The learning outcomes students develop place-based identity, heritage responsibility, and gain experience to transform field data into academic resources. The third, the last case study is immersive lighting as a tool for experiential engagement. Luminescence 2025 is the title of that workshop, where the International Association of Lighting Designers came together along with the vendors across India and mentored and guided students for workshop how to handle luminaires, how to create a space for lighting exhibit. So temporary installations create immersive theme-based spaces that enhance both sensory and cognitive user experience. Experiential methodology, design challenge, site analysis, concept, writing experience, execution and public exhibition. So yeah, this was the during the day it is raw with natural sunlight, but due to design implication of lighting design, how that particular space gets illuminated can be seen by the sensory. So the learning outcome projects were publicly exhibited and assessed through jury reviews, reinforcing experiential learning principles in spatial storytelling. So results are finding from case studies as a comparative based on creative and innovation, contextual understanding, collaboration and teamwork, cultural sensitivity, digital and field integration. So luminescence leads, while others follows. Indo-French bananas leads because of immersive field research in culture-rich environments. And Indo-French studio again scores highest, reinforcing value of cultural exposure. Photo documentation workshop achieves highest of its strong use of tech and hands-on learning. So this is with respect to the surveys done across 12 institutes with 450 students and 60 faculties. Satisfaction versus belief in experiential learning. Over 85% faculty and 75% students show positive belief and satisfaction with experiential learning. Confidence in applying versus delivering experiential learning. Faculty exhibit greater confidence than students, and participants in design build studios, live workshops, and digital labs reported higher satisfaction, confidence, and time. Challenges faced by students versus faculty. Despite strong belief, student support needs better structure and budgetary backing. Students struggle with theory to practice transition, faculty side, curriculum rigidity, and support limitation. Apart from this, the main challenge, opportunities in integrating live projects, flexible models, and stronger partnership with industry and heritage bodies. Make experiential models core to the curriculum or electives. For this, we require adaptive, flexible pedagogies, design sprints, semester workshops, joint juries, and use of qualitative assessments, journals, exhibitions, and track professional outcome post program. So, taking forward this particular research, we can do so that after doing that particular exercises of elective or throughout the course, how we are going to track their progress in the design studios. That can be taken forward. Concluding, experiential learning fundamentally reshapes architectural education by bridging theory with real world applications. Programs aligned with COEPRC show that field-based learning supports both academic growth and cultural engagement. And soft skills development foster empathy, collaboration, and critical thinking. So before concluding, I would like to quote, learning happens beyond walls where architecture meets experience, creativity finds context, and knowledge becomes practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, do we have with us Mr. Akshat Sharma? I guess like we do not have him here. Moving on, I would like to call upon Mr. Sherpa, LD Sherpa, with his topic Generative AI in VFX Education, Revolutionizing Creativity and Workflow Automation.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I was surprised. I thought I would be having tea and giving the sessions, but okay. Today's my title is Generative AI in Physics Education. We have already discussed about AI in our previous sessions morning, but in a generic form, we are putting importance and opportunities of AI in education, friends. So that's why I'm putting it to the track 4. So, in the VFX education, revolutionizing creativity and workflow automations. So today's my research paper, I have segmented this research paper into the 2 divisions. One is the creativity and one automation. So when I was writing the paper, I just got stopped here. I'm still stuck in that word land because creativity and automations. When you are working in a field where we are actively using technologies, still I don't have answers which one is better. I went to some of a lot of other books where they have intensely written that no machine can replace your human mind. I was so happy that आप ही होता है. Then again they started writing within a lot of smarter people. Then I thought, okay, data box is smart to सकता. Then creativity. How do we analyze creativity in our VFX trends and education? In interviews also, to students also, we always say that please do smart work, smart work, smart work. And without technologies, I think smart work in this era is not possible. So we are telling them to do the automations workflow. Use automation and keep doing it. So are we really doing a creativity in the same framework as the machine learning? In academics, are we still following that Bloom's taxonomy, or we have started training a different machine learning frameworks? So, as I told you, I'm still in that wetland. I haven't found the complete solutions, conclusions, because those who are accepting AI are really happy, they are taking advantage. Those who are not accepting it, still it's been a curse for them. It's a boon and curse both, but it is hard for the generation because we are the one who is facing this in the starting era. But now, how do we use this in our education trends? And my topic is VFX education. So visual effects are mostly into the virtual, and where virtual or the post productions are. Okay, the role of AI in VFX is huge. Where we used to call that the post production system in one term, where everything are done in a post production. And now we are using AI as a creative partner. I'd like to share one research what we have done during our graduation projects. Students they had just completed the pre-productions, but got stopped before productions. So we were spending a lot of time spending because they were not about to pre-visualize what they are going to do in the productions. So we decided we'll use an AI. AI gave pretty much better results of a pre-visualization for them, and it worked. So they started accepting that we can also use it, and as an academician, also we started supporting that we can use it to enhance what you have visualized. It is not that you are creating it from the beginning, but for enhancing your creativity, surely we have to use AI because that is an emerging tool. So in academics, I think we need to start working and adding AIs into our syllabus. So there are few research courses. Do your education program provide a guidelines or training on using generative AI in VFX? So a lot of people say no, still not yet. To what extent do you believe generative AI tools enhance creativity in VFX education? As we told that we are just using generative AI or as a tools. As in morning sessions, Ashta ma'am told that we are losing that creative controls. Are we losing that creative control by using the AI in access? But I don't know. I also still don't know because in every project it's helping you, sometimes it is not helping you. So to what extent do you believe that this can overall workflow efficiency grow and empower the workflow efficiency in the ethics education? So literature reviews, few literature reviews were which were related to my paper, where the last one, the Chakraborty, this studies was related to machine learning and for higher education. And case studies, we did the case studies with one of the VFX projects, our educators, and we went for industrial visits and a lot of old movies and the productions. We went through the details of a lot of directors, how they are proceed and how they are using technologies to overcome this. And the challenges, still there are challenges, but we are accepting this and are we want to put this AI into our educations, but we always have this, we always say this ethical implications. Wherever we go in academics, we always say that if you use AI, there can be ethical implications. So balancing creativity and automations, understanding AI limitations. So as a teacher, we tell our students not to use AI during the research writings or anything, but we feel that it is better to use when we ourselves are doing a research. So maybe we are being biased for ourselves and not letting students to explore, but they have become much more smarter than us and they have already started using a lot of AI tools because in final year thesis we can see 100% of students will be using AI tools to overcome almost thesis and all. So it is helpful also, it is good, and sometimes, yes, again we come to this ethical implications. I don't know how we are gonna overcome this ethical originalities and all. Because if you are going into diving into the Googles and those clouds and all, what is the limit of catching or cutting off those ethicals? I still, as a teacher, I exactly don't know what would be how you are gonna judge that ethicals. So key research findings. Now upcoming markets are usually getting a boost We can play till 2033 next 10 years of markets. So definitely we have to push our students that we will be making them ready for next 4 years. After that 4 years of course, so definitely they should be here. So there are a lot of scope for them, and in education and work training. So you can say there is a 16% of growth. So generally, people should be using a more around 16% in higher education. Then definitely why not we? Otherwise, we will be back leading. So future of BFX education is definitely bright if you use AI. So transforming potentials, it's gonna definitely at the beginning slide, as I told you, the creative and the optimizations. Human structures, our human brain, have a thought process that can give you a visualizations. I think that is called creativity, or is the definitions of creativity in a different way. But definitely, if you what how the human thinks also processing a framework, then definitely we are also thinking like a machine. Otherwise, creativity also will have a patterns which can be easily replaced by a AI. So we need to exactly first dig out what actually is the human thinking process, or what how it is linked to the creativity. So till now, what I found was in human process and creativity also they are generated patterns and framework. So patterns and framework can be easily replaced by the machine learning, AI and everything. Then the automations workflow will easily replace us. So here are few references that I have taken. So I would not like to take a lot of your helps. We are already using AI in our education parameters, but we really want to put it into the syllabus so that we can put the awareness with the syllabus and the study. We can make them happen in the right way. We can help the students use them in a. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. L.D. Sherpa. Next, we have our author, Mr. Savita Patagundi, but on her behalf, we have a co-author presenting, that is Mr. Shahul Hamid. Can we have a presentation, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. So, myself is Shahul Hami, professor at Presidency University, and I'm a department head at School of Design, Fashion Design, and looking for the wonderful opportunity for presenting my paper on the topic design education, higher education system. So today, the concept is about how the education system is being shifted from a normal concepts to the higher education system using a concept called design thinking or design research. So today we always, in the present concepts, every students are working with the research oriented, but they are not focusing more on design research concepts. Initially we had research, but it was more of theoretical based research. So as design research has evolved in such a way that it is giving more of conceptual based research, which is giving insights for non design students. That is what I focus more about it. And despite the growth in design education, the aspects of design thinking along with design research has been going hands on hands in every university level. Yeah. So the background studies about is that traditional design education lacks research in the concepts of design, but I don't say it as they don't lack in the research, but they basically lack in the research of design concepts. Okay, and increase in the need of digital transformation. So we are all shifting towards ourselves into a lot of concepts like AI generated, but along with that, digital transformation is also more important in the stakeholders like faculties, administrators, and the university levels also. It is not only from one who's just implying it and to accept it, but acceptance level should be from all the people, or it might be from the entire concept. That is where it can have a better growth in design research and infrastructures, and which is also from the universities or the institute level. The supportive things. It's not only from the that's what from student centric. Then motivations talks about the systematic gaps like capacity building in design research and innovations in higher education. So I'm commonly talking about not only the university levels but also from the schools and the PU levels, where they can apply this as a basic level, where it helps them to understand what is design, which to understand or identify the problems and to bring up with some creative solutions. Normally, how design thinking works, but with an effective process. So, to evaluate faculties and students' research quality with higher education levels also, it helps in that way also because when we use a couple of design or the qualitative process, okay, or it might be it stays to our mind, okay, using our infographics or infos, all these things helps in a better way. So, objective is to understand institutional challenge in design research and also develop their capacity building. Along with that, study the role of institutes, their curriculum, how they are implementing their advancement in their curriculums or change over in all these things also goes into it. Yes, literature review and key concepts like we have referred a lot of international papers also for this. Design thinking as a keynote, research which is being brought up in an effective way. That is one when COVID-19 has been used as design thinking for the better concepts, like developing garments out of it. Okay, when it comes to the concepts of garment designing, the research gaps is lack of structured mentorship programs, along with the faculty also or the management. Okay? So mentorship programs, especially in design process, because people say that design is something different. So we have tried up with a couple of experiments in our universities also to non-design students, and we have floated one course called design thinking and research for different departments, interdisciplinaries like law and engineering departments. Almost 300 students were effectively participated, and it was a course which was introduced, 3 credit course for 300 students with 7 faculties. So weekly thrice we had these classes, and we brought up a lot of innovation ideas from non-design students. That was an effective concept. Then the contribution of paper is about the capacity building. How can this research for non-design students help us? So design students, they know all these kind of techniques, all these things, but when it comes to non-design students, this might help them in a better way. Then background is again yes, methodology, the qualitative and exploratory methods we have followed, and observation method also. Along with that, case studies, interviews, and document reviews, not only from student base but also from the different universities' syllabus. We have reviewed it and whether they have implemented this design concept or not. And tools and equipments like semi-structured interviews, institutional documentaries, global benchmarks and case studies. Along with that, data collections like we had limited concepts, students, 30 participants in around Bangalore, which had consist faculty, students, and administrators for having the better ideas. Then we also had public, private universities, schools, multidisciplinary institutes. And data methods like identifying different thematic groups, then case-based synthesis and ethical consideration also we are focused on. Okay, result in discussions, still teaching enhances the engagement because basically any topics which we take, we as a faculty research we go and do. But we have put this concept of students in where they can come up with an idea and start identifying the problems and end up with the solutions in a better way using this research concepts. And mentorship program is more important, like faculty and students mentor, or also faculty training programs. All these things can be conducted. The strategic partnership provides funding programs from government bodies, and every institute should know where to apply the fundings, how to get the fundings. All these things can be derived in a better way. Not only just stating it, but in a better way of approaching funding government bodies can also increase their ideology in design concepts. Digital tool, prototype and collaboration is more important, which can also help them in the funding process. So this is one. We had ideated design thinking based on research training, and a non-design student had come up with this ideation sketches, like how to set the water and the water tap, redesigning that. So it is already an existing design, but a non-design student had done that was something innovative. Almost 300 students participated in it, and effectively we got like 200 students or 190 students effectively who had put up their ideas in AI, or it might be identifying problems in around traffic, all these things are there. So we picked up a couple of things. Then, so acceptance level of capacity building among the institute students and if I talk about the trend also. So we have not reached the 100%, I can say. The students are not focused, but they want to have more concepts about what is design and research. Okay? So we have come up with a ratio of only 69% among the students level and 80 among interdisciplinary research, where collaborating with design and other institutes like emerging trends in different departments also can help us in increasing the funding opportunities, and faculties are also approving into it. And we are not reaching the trend concept because trend is way forward to us, but still we are in the research is where not yet that much I can say in design, but interdisciplinary is not yet. Collaboration, we are collaborating, but we are not getting the output as what we are requiring. And institutional advancement also to be included. Stating the conclusion that as we had palliative research at the university where we stated with different departments like law, engineering, and computer science department, this helped them to understand a collaborative learning in their system, which we brought up this not only in the final years but in the second semesters, which helped them to understand what to be done in the upcoming levels using this different methods. So digital tool like AI and VR also being implemented in the curriculum, and majorly we have clubbed the curriculum such a way that this can help them in their advancement learning, imbibing the research concepts. So thank you to the President's University and KD University, which we have collaborated with them and with the reference. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to the last presentation of this session and for day one. I would like to call upon Mr. Mayuresh Shirolkar with his topic Tradition and Transformation, comparative study of interior design education through AI, creativity and educator evolution.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Then, so I wish I could present the paper that I have written in a more lucid way, in the sense that, but I need to read because it references everything from my paper. And I thank Acharya University for accepting my paper for presentation. So, namaskar. I'm architect Mayuresh York, and today we are diving into the fascinating intersection of tradition and transformation in India design education. Our focus is on a comparative study that explores how AI, creativity, and the evolution of educators is shaping up. This research is led by myself and co-authored by Dr. Shraddha Sadhar, and it falls under the sub-theme of emerging trends in design education. Here we tackle a crucial question: can design educators stay relevant in an AI-enhanced studio? This is critical, especially as we witness AI rapidly entering our creative domains. We see a duality. While AI offers creative potential, it also raises concerns about the future of design. This brings us to an essential dilemma. Must our teaching methods evolve, or are they at a risk of being replaced totally? We need to strike a balance between leveraging AI and preserving the core of what makes design education uniquely human. This paper is an exploration of how we can navigate these transformations together. For a field like interior design, which is deeply rooted in touch, space, and emotion, the challenge isn't about whether we should use AI. It is about how we can leverage it without sacrificing the human essence of design education. It is essential to address AI in education as it is projected to grow from a mere $5.80 billion in 2024 to a staggering $112 billion in 2034. This growth signifies a major shift. We are already witnessing disruptions with tools that generate, iterate, and suggest as they become commonplace. So, will our students still learn the fundamentals of design in the traditional way? And can we maintain elements like empathy, context, and authorship in the age of complete automation? And ultimately, will we, as educators, evolve alongside this technology or necessarily automate it out of it? These pressing concerns must be addressed as we navigate this complex blend of innovation and an identity loss. In traditional interior design pedagogy, site visits are crucial for real spatial awareness. They immerse students in the actual environment, allowing them to connect theory and practice. Sketching is not just about drawing, it's also about understanding and fosters deeper sense of visualization. The cultural context maps the user needs and develops empathy to create relevant and impactful awareness. Precedent analysis helps learning from design history to understand the past and innovate for the future. Here I would like to say that I have been a traditional teacher where I have been conducting theatre workshops to understand design philosophy, where it's a one-to-one connection and a peer learning. Is that changing? But collaborative studios foster idea exchange and critical thinking, encouraging students to engage with each other's perspectives. They enhance their creative process and peer learning is at its max. But the landscape is shifting rapidly because of AI interventions. As we explore into the global and Indian case studies, let's look at how AI has been integrated into design education. In Turkey, at Antalya Bilim University, AI was utilized for an office interior project, and it was at the ideation level. The varied outcome aligned closely with the persons who were using AI. And these were the outputs were dependent on personal traits. This approach allowed students to understand the value of communicating the right prompts and proper design intent with AI. Moving to India, we have Nirali Soni, whose innovative blend of empathy mapping with AI prompts helps. She made use of the technology only after the initial traditional ideation stage to create alternatives later from these ideas. This combination enhances design thinking and also fosters a deep understanding of user needs and human experiences. In China, AI is embedded directly into the teaching pedagogy. The faculty members step into the role of facilitators. This evolution encourages a collaborative learning where AI supports rather than replace human creativity. Next. AI enhanced methods with text to image with text-to-image tools like Midjourney and DALL-E has revolutionized how we can visualize concepts, create quick ideation, and instant mood boards. In rapid design efficiency, AI accelerates processes like drafting and rendering, allowing us to move through design iterations much faster than ever before. This focuses on refining our ideas than getting bogged down with small manual tasks. With a broader creative exploration, AI opens new avenues for creativity, enabling us to explore styles and forms that might have been out of reach for our traditional methods. Now we can push beyond our manual limits. Finally, we have adaptive and personalized learning where AI can tailor the educational experience for each student and at that student's unique pace. This personalization enhances engagement and also supports skill development unlike earlier. The power to remotely collaborate via shared design platforms is also immense. These tools are crucial for teamwork, breaking geographical boundaries and fostering diverse inputs in design projects. Together, these superpowers can transform our approach to design education, fostering collaboration and design innovation. These examples illustrate a transformative shift in design education where AI serves as a powerful ally. There is a definite value AI has given towards holding the understanding of the new generation. These are significant, but there are definitely significant limitations that we need to acknowledge as we integrate AI in our educational design. First, AI cannot replicate empathy. It is crucial to understand that while AI can analyze data, it cannot truly grasp our emotions or the lived experiences that go with it. This is where our intuition and understanding comes into play. Secondly, AI lacks the ability to comprehend materiality. It doesn't feel textures or see how light behaves in a space, nor can it understand how these elements affect a person who's using that space, that person's mood. This sensory experience is vital for designers and it's something AI simply cannot teach yet. Next. A sample mapping of a set of educators and professionals regarding AI adoption in education and the profession was done. The insight we provided were as follows. Significantly, 90% of the educators indicated they are likely or very likely to use AI and adopt AI tools. This strong interest shows a shift in the mindset towards embracing technology in our teaching practices. But 65% express concerns about becoming mere operators of these tools, fearing a loss of creative agency. Concern is that educators feel limited rather than empowered. Additionally, 80% agree that AI is essential for the future of teaching to be relevant to the learners and also to the system. This highlights the importance of integrating AI into a pedagogy while being mindful of the potential pitfalls like loss of fundamental skills and the question of authorship and ethical judgment. There is a need to balance AI integration with our core educational values. Next. We have an opportunity to rise to the challenge and truly ride this wave of innovation. We are at this point of time at the cusp of this transition. We must remember, while AI brings remarkable efficiency and creative exploration, it cannot replace the essential human elements of empathy and lived values. So let's focus on how we can integrate AI tools while retaining our human perspectives, which are completely unique to us. Together, we can harness this technology thoughtfully and responsibly. Thank you all for being here today, and I look forward to connecting with all of you as you connect with AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We can now have the panel discussion. For the panel discussion, I would like to call upon Mr. Anthony, one of our reviewers, one who has helped us a lot in reviewing our papers. Next, I would like to call upon Architect Shalaka. Yes, we have Dr. Sumer Singh. So you can kind of take up your seat. And Architect Akshita. Yes. And lastly, Architect Mayuresh. So to be a part of the panel discussion. Hello. So we can start with you.
Is there any question which is being posed to me or? So, there has to be someone who is coordinating. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. This question is regarding the morning session which happened on the AI and also the current session on the trends in design education. So most of everybody has spoke about the AI implementation of AI in education. So my question is so like this. So what should be the systematic procedure for student submission that ensures students use AI effectively for better results without losing their creativity while documenting AI research, ideation and original input, and how our creative education sectors currently addressing the implementing this balance in their curriculum. Thank you.
I'll go ahead. Okay. Every time there is a new technology, there is bombardment of, say, there is new technology, there are a lot of things which learn about. Like when I was starting my design teaching career, we were talking about form exploitation. We were meaning ready-made transformation in 3D, taken to cross section and doing transformation. Students came up with AutoCAD being transformed, visual transformed. And we will see how it is informative or how good it is. So likewise today we have these tools like AI and others. I think the intelligent person has to be behind to evaluate these, put them to new challenges. That's how we have to. So how I am saying that okay, you have a better tool. That means you will be either speeding up the time to market. So there should be more products which may come out. If the products are not coming out, then this tool is not better. So that's how I try to pose them into challenges, and we are situated with a lot of challenges. Recently, we had terrorist attack, when there are floods in different places, when there is drought at certain areas, there are garbages on our roads, crimes happening all over the places. We need to use these kind of systems to pose challenges to our students and say that you follow technology, solve the problem. At the end of the day, the problem will be solved if it is getting solved. And then we will do this. Instead of getting bothered at how we should evaluate, I think we'll have, as teachers, we'll have to raise our uh, role of being an evaluator. Many times, I have seen myself getting into this routine work of being an attendance taker, being a question paper setter, being an evaluator, and the whole outcome of the learning is going for a task. So after 15 years or 10 years, if you have been a teacher and you realize that I'm just sharing information. It is just like sometimes earlier we used to take photographs from our hotspot cameras and hotshot cameras and all and develop reels. And we used to see these images with a lot of value. Oh, this was the image, this was the situation. We were visualizing those situations. Nowadays, someone goes for a picnic somewhere and they send 100 images to me. I have been taking so much of images. My mobile phone is still filled with information. My Google Drive is getting filled at GB. I just don't have time even to sort out those images and release the result. So what is the point of taking so many images? Likewise, what is the point of these are tools for farmers and artists? So it is just a thing that teachers has to be wise and intelligent enough. Students has to carry the value of this information. They should take society as their responsibility and then deliver something and not just examples. Yeah,
Okay, my name is Anthony. So I am working with Pearl Academy. The first thing I understand about AI, actually in our academy we have a lot of intervention of AI. Now, has this increased the caliber of the quality of the students? No. Firstly, AI is alien to many people yet. I would like to pacify this concept. AI is not like going to ChatGPT, giving a question, getting an answer. Yes, but we cannot subside any kind of artificial intelligence so easily. First, very important aspect is students need to understand the bias quality of AI. Now, most of us I mean, we cannot regret that we are already into the AI stage of creating things and other things. But what is very delusional is this: we don't see great works. See, I've been working with art for about 2 generations now, and I have seen in visual art or in any kind of design, the quality is slightly substandard compared to the earlier process because we don't take the process of even enjoying it. I mean, AI is fast, I know very well, but teachers have to go with conventional methods, even though there is hardcore AI intervention. I think most of the students will like to incorporate AI, but significantly that's not going to work very well, or might combine some kind of great statement at all.
Hello. Yeah. I think I would want to address your question maybe in some parts. I don't know. But what you're saying is absolutely bang on because whatever is being said here is going on the past developments and whatever was in the past, maybe it's AutoCAD, maybe it's the wheel, maybe it's something else, they're all tools which humans used. AI is not like that, right? AI has a mind of its own, and we are giving it to them, right? So it's a challenge, definitely a challenge, because the faculty is not empowered to understand AI yet. That when the faculty comes at the level of understanding AI, AI has gone ahead, and who's knowing that AI is the children, right? So that it is a challenge. It is definitely a challenge. Having said that, I think this at this point of time, because even when I was presenting, I said, yet the emotional quotient of AI is still not there. So we can still hope that we can modulate it, navigate around it, and bring it in our like 50% and 50% that you were presenting, right? We would want to not push it down, but take it as a friend. That's how it should be. The second thing is how should we do it? Is yes, what he said was, or what sir also said was that, and in my presentation I said this Nirali Soni, what she did was she told the students to do ideation, design thinking earlier without using the AI, and whatever outputs came out, she said apply AI to that. Whatever, I mean, these are ways to handle it, is what I think, and they seem to be every educator, every facilitator will have to have a different way to look at AI. So it is, I think it is a challenge, and I think there are ways to solve it. But yes, we need to look at it as a tool and as a friend.
I just add to this, and I think all three speakers what you are giving a solution started with your thing that you don't have a time and you have a data available and you're talking about the AI. I think what is the solution? Just thought of it because I listen a couple of paper in the morning as well. We are all interlinked to it. So because we have done a lot of application, a lot of interest on our physical health, then we use the AI as a tool to talk about our mental health, where we can see of how mental health, like the way we talk about 10%, 20%, whatever percent, if we can design a device which can give us a breaking point, like you are going into red because you are too busy. So can we use our brain to settle down and be more productive into the coming of this new technology. Otherwise, we will have much more mental health issues, and we will be like, we already got bombarded with internet. Now with AI, we are getting much more haywire. The lot of information is too much. Should we not look from a totally different perspective that give the health like segregation to give us a space of designing or being more creative as a naturally. That's what I was thinking. Right?
I like to address this. See, human brain works as a bioinformative system. It is not only a informative system. Had it been a chip, we could have increased the memory capacity. 8 GB के बजाय we could have made it 64 GB or 1000 GBs. Processors we could have enhanced. But there is a ability of humans to evolve. So we cannot evolve so rapidly as fast as the technology evolves. Humankind has come generations by generations. So your previous generation was at a certain age, so the next generation will go to certain limitations of technology, exploring it. Next generation will go to further. If you bombard one of the generations with a lot of information, they may go crazy. So at the first place, we need to be sensible of who is creating these 1000 images. Is it required to create 1000 images? I have to manage it later on. So why cannot we be sensible enough to take two pictures? There's a new trend which is coming that you will only have one picture of you, no options of second picture. By that you use your mind to say that no, not because of the capability of taking images, but because of the concern how will I be managing them. I only take few pictures. And that's how we can control it. It is like I have created thousands of cars and then I have late. Why is there so much of traffic jam on the road? It is because there are thousands of cars which have been created. So looking at the root cause of the problem, looking at the systems how it is evolving, let people get engaged into different things. I tell you, I in my class through this kind of opportunities and discussions, and my students were discussing on one of the sessions pros and cons of AI. And it was coming at the end of the discussion that a person who is generating something thought by himself is valued more. It's like a supremacy of a person. Like a supremacy of a footballer is that how he can kick the ball into the goal. Supremacy of a cricketer is that how he can hit a ball to a six or something, batsman. So also supremacy of an individual is that how good he can sketch, not how well he can break prompts to sketch. And people just discard. Students themselves discard. These are AI images. I don't trust these images. These are AI images. The whole value of a creator is that the self-esteem that I am the person who is creating. This is my moral actor. This is me who has proposed this and see how intelligent I am. This is the notion in all of the people who come to the creative field. And if we just remove that part and it is based on truth, then the person who is coming from different culture and society and is also proposing the same kind of solution as his mind, human mind will find out the way to negate those kind of concepts and find out the value. Correctly told that emotional intelligence will come into place. How do you impress a girl? You cannot say that I have got flowers from selection using AI tool. Rather, you will say that I went to swim and I caught a lotus from the pond just for you. Is a better way of proposing. I think that these all things are still relevant because I'm seeing in these students now. They say that okay, these are others, these are generated by someone else, and we need to be careful about ourselves. So we are just creating jobs. The connection, like one of the discussion was that how mindful people are these days, how holistic food you are eating. Like I was trained with my grandparents how to find out a fresh cucumber, how a natural Kerala is a Kerala, and a handmade Kerala is not so good as a Kerala. Today's kids, you go and ask, they will say that I will take an image, I will upload it somewhere, and 7 days before he was telling that it is a natural Kerala. But someone has manipulated the data behind it, so now it is saying that it is not a natural Kerala anymore. How can you be so reliable on such kind of information? This can be bugged, this can be manipulated, but my nose is my nose. I can always go and strike a Kerala and swim as a nose. So I think these all human intelligence, emotional intelligence, all these things are going to come in play. How do you live a life? How do you emotionally connect to society relevant? Otherwise, you're just sitting in a room and you have mental disorders, you have ADHD, and all these things are coming in place.
That's the power of discrimination, and I agree with Anthony. So that has to be taught, and AI can't do that. So the power of discrimination, choosing or selecting, like you say, what is the right one, let's say, that can be, it's a part of the pedagogy. I mean, if you're not taught the basics, right from the basics, if you're not taught. Coming to the question of what you said, how you integrate. But integration can only happen after the basics are being taught. And that power lies with the educator itself. How those initial cognitive thinking in the design should happen right from basic, and then at a later on stage you think about how AI can be integrated. That is one thing. And second was what you were saying. ChatGPT is working like a therapist nowadays. And I see a number of Instagram reels based on the prompts which can tell you how AI or ChatGPT itself can assist mental health of whoever is typing to it. But the question is that someone who wants that help should actually go switch it on, put the right prompt, and then get help. So again, it all depends on us. So yet for the next, yeah, it's still something of the future. So for that, we have to evolve.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. The first thing, as faculties or as teachers, what we need to do is teach children judgment. Because most of the children are not have bad judgment. First, whether to use AI as a tool or AI as a wholesome application for the final outcome. Now, this is a very important thing. Why this is very important? So, I just had this discussion with my student. We always have this concepts like in India. Like this is a very simple concept I can tell. Choose one fabulous looking car in India. Everybody was like stuck with Innova. Then ask them, just suggest me one ugly looking car. Guess what the answer came was? Nano. Now, most of the students don't even understand that just because a car is cheap does not mean it looks ugly. Now, this is what is judgment. This is very initial aspect of design today. Most of the times we are not able to design. We are not even good designers because we lack that judgment. I think this is the first thing all design schools must teach. So I think this is the future of design education. This is a very important aspect. I think this is where you take ownership and realize what it is meant for, what the outcome can be, and having certain ethical and moral values towards it is what is very important.
I'll add to what Anthony said. Like in our traditional cultural context, people would say sanskar. How what is your behavior sanskar? Tehzeeb, how do you behave in society? I mean, these are things which are lacking at present time. Sadhguru says about inner engineering. So how do you engineer yourself to behave with the outer society? These are the most important things which are getting into this. So a few weeks back, I was sitting in a conversation with one of my professors, Professor L.K. Das, and we were talking about beautiness and ugliness in nature. And he was saying because you have, as humans, mastered the language, so you are conversing amongst yourself. Maybe the ants and the flies are conversing among themselves, just saying how stupid these humans are, and they are finding that they are doing the best work which can happen in this universe. And you ask a mosquito, and mosquito will be brightly seeing the mirror and see, I'm the most beautiful creature in this planet. I take the list of resources, I harp on all the garbage things, I don't consume anything which is fresh. It is you as humans who are so much fascinated that you are great everywhere. So everything has importance in nature. Bees, for example, if these bees goes away, the pollination will not happen, and 5 years humankind will disappear. So I think more than AI, bees are important. It is time that we start giving significance to other things. And yes, these are tools. Tomorrow there will be warfare, and we will be using these tools. We have to be in touch with people how to optimize this usage. and how we master on these things. It is just like a tool. Someone has Pinaka as a equipment, someone has Force as an equipment. So also these are used in different countries, but humans have to be behind these tools. That is what I would say.
But sir, one more thing I just wanted to add. We are talking about all the conventional and natural things, and the whatever the updations coming to different emerging technologies, AI and all. But somewhere I feel if we are having that conventional things or the whatever the knowledge, traditional knowledge, but along with that, we should be somewhere updating ourselves, or else we feel that is in this era we are somewhere we are lacking.
I think we have, that's what I told you, a fundamental issue. It's not, we have never reached there where we can start using AI. It's something like, just imagine the city. Like, I was passing by from the city. Most of the places actually are like lanes which are very small. This is not something that is a best practice. When you live abroad, you don't see situations like this. The reason is because when the city was expanding, not everybody evolved. So this is a very important aspect of when people are talking in AI. I tell them, you're talking about AI. There are thousands or millions of people who are still not there. So we have to have a fundamental concept, and we need to be strong with the fundamentals itself. The essential concept is also tell me how many designers in India use Indian culture or are having context of Indian art or design. We don't, most of the times we are aping Westerners. Okay, there is a different concept. 100 years back, Bauhaus schools started design, they were radical, they made some explosive things. By 1960, NID had finished with that in India. But today, what are we doing? We're still not in 1930. So, this is a very important thing. The reason is because if our fundamentals or our foundation was strong, we could have used AI to the best. So, I think as well as learning AI, more than that, the potential is to learn fundamentals right. This is a very important thing. I think most of the education institutions today are like talking about AI and other things, but integrating fundamentals is a very important thing. That is what I told you. It's not AI should be a choice. AI should be more of a choice because you don't know. Maybe somebody outperforms AI. Why is that always everybody has started thinking we are not performing as good as AI? That's just the question we need to ask.
To add to it, like, I, I just remembered something today. Today morning I flew to Bangalore, and I'm coming to a point where everybody is not developed. Everybody is not reached that level. There was a family with me traveling for the first time. They were flying. A whole family, an old person, maybe their father, then the son and the grandchildren. And there was a touchdown. The flight landed and it was taxiing. And I think the old person wanted to go to the toilet. And he was holding on to it for a very long time. And the son said, go, why don't you go? So he stood up to go, and the air hostess from behind said, sir, sit down. Now she was stuck with the system, and the son was looking at humanity. So who is behind? Whose base is wrong? So he asked her, what is the scientific reason why he should not get up? The plane has landed. You're just taxiing. It's like standing in a bus, and it's an emergency. So she kept on saying, no, no, sir, sit down, because she is answerable to somebody. But then she's not thinking as a human. I think that is also one thing that we are addressing here, that don't get bogged down by systems. Rules are meant for certain things, for disciplines or certain things. But of course, there are points where we need to understand that this can be overridden. rightly said, see, again go back to it is our effort which has created these issues. See, we were peacefully living, but we increased our population. Obviously, we have to find out alternate ways of life. Say a person who is having 10 acres of land has 5 kids now. The land amount will reduce, so they will have to become doctors and engineers. I'm not saying that's wrong, but because of that, they have to become doctors and engineers, they are solving medical problems and society has improved. And time will come when the human population will be so much that we will be able to make a pandemic and people will start dying and these all things will come. But there is a bandwidth for everyone's mind. See, I asked my mother to get training to mobile phones, she says, "No." I can train myself to a certain level, my kid is learning it in day one. So I think this kind of hierarchy has to be built. There has to be a phase out of retirement. You should not be saying that you have to today this system, so you adapt to it, tomorrow you adapt to that, after tomorrow you adapt to this. You are so much into adaptation, otherwise you will fail. So this is like a general system. The tiger is only alive till the time he can hunt. But we are humans, we are a society, we are a system. We can train our next generation to take care of the previous generation, and the next generation can further train the next generation. Likewise, we have come so far, and I am very sure if we systematically follow, we will reach Mars and whatever systems. But if we are just so rapid on this, we will be out of our mind space. And as truly said by others also, we can have a module which can be introduced in some generation. And the previous generation can be said, okay, we pass. And the next generation can have a better module of it. Two, three generations will be better. That is the way forward.
One more thing where really have to apply AI in the education field. The precedent analysis, what one of the talks were talking about, that is where you can get the help of AI. But the parameters of how the analysis has to be done, case study, website analysis, the parameters at least should be a brainstorming activity through sit with when humans sit. I mean, at least the teacher or the tutor and the student sit and collect those parameters, which is much relevant, and then you apply AI to come up with the precedent analysis because what has already happened, AI is good at it. It tells you what has already happened. So that is one of the things. Second, I'm just thinking about this movie Hidden Figures. I don't know if you've watched it, but it's lovely. It's the backdrop of NASA and how new machine is coming and how the women mostly who are working in NASA were not getting the right opportunity because we're talking about a very old time 1900s era, 20s, 1920s, and how the women adapt to learn that machine, and they are almost the pioneers and they are the ones who are teaching and taking the training to adapt themselves to the new thing. Calculators replaced human brains. There were some people who think and calculating. Calculator took over. AutoCAD took over drafting. So definitely AI is not a no-no. But how to literally use it and where exactly to use it, I think it's something that we are yet to learn and we have to go. I'm not saying slow or fast, but we have to accept and evolve, but keeping in mind the conventional things.
So the discussion is quite interesting, and I think parameters will be detailed. Mr. Anthony and you were talking about the emotional aspect of it, but I was just thinking while the discussion was happening, world has gone into a direction of human and some superhuman context. So where they have already reached to that level, and I think India has an opportunity in through design education or in trying to blur the gap between superhuman and human. It is a very destructive situation we are moving in. If you follow the Western culture, we end up losing out the opportunity what we have because we are still getting the emotional aspect of it. So that's something which I like to add to it.
I think very interestingly, the concept of humanoid and all, where you have robots, this latest tool of Shikra dancing and like a human is really something which is happening. But I think in India we are benefited by one thing that we have a huge population. We can put some part of the population to be experimental and rest part of the population. Like when you are trying to send someone on moon, you don't send the entire population. They are always extrovert, but you can take two life cycles and send them to explore with any water or things. I think this exploration will be on. We are yet to see what is going to happen because hybrid, hybrid food and grains started some time back, and now we are seeing that it is disrupting the health conditions. So we don't know what is going to happen in the future. And reliability is always to be checked. If you research, we are sitting on a research platform. We see date of publishing of an article, DOI of an article, and we are sure that 5 years down the line we can DOI the same article. But today, if you have some prompts given to ChatGPT, and next 5 years you give another prompt to the same prompt to ChatGPT, it will generate different results. So how can you rely on such results? So that means there's always machine learning happening at the back end because of more and more information until unless it's stabilized. When it gets stabilized, humans will be able to start thinking beyond it. So it will be evolved and will be getting it further. But till that time, we are there. I think new experiments are happening that how do you mitigate risk of death, how emotionally you can rate this as ceremony. And we have traditional wisdom of how we are managing these ceremonies. We didn't have any problem. Like we got this toilet system, Western toilet systems. Indians were going to fields from 1,000 years. None of our rivers were polluted. In 50 years, all of the rivers are polluted. So we need to really think that what is the takeaways from these technologies and how well we will be. Maybe it can happen that our population is extinct because of emotional lack. We don't love each other and next option is not good and it is gone. So then we can keep producing. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't want to put another pebble in the pond to create more ripples, but I think what you're saying is suppose we were to look back on our history, on our past, ancient wisdom, traditional wisdom, that's beside, I mean, that's there. But I'm saying we see these sculptures in temples, rings made which turn in stone. I mean, it's humanly impossible. That's what everybody is saying. So, do we need to look at our extreme past and come for the future? So, it's actually just a thought for maybe your next conference.
I think I'd like to conclude. What are the challenges of present time? Challenges of present time is not how we use it. Challenges of present time is like war. People are fighting and 2 minutes short, humankind is gone. Challenges of present time is sustainability. We are monitoring so much that we don't know that next generation will survive or not. Heat rise, climate heat change, these are challenges at present time. Challenges at present time is safety for food and water. If we can use certain technologies which can make these challenges achievable and we achieve it, but I'm very sure it is not going to be achieved because by the law of entropy of science, the disruption is going to happen and entropy energy is going to be random and we are creating more and more problems. So let us hope for the best and try our way.
Thank you to all our panelists. I too would like to say something. We're all sitting here discussing how we can use AI in our education. Maybe 5 years or 10 years down the line, we'll have to sit again to discuss any new thing which is coming up and maybe how we can use that in our system or in our education field too. So thank you very much to all the panelists. You can go and take your place. Thank you. I request Architect Jen Shmi, please. Architect Shiraz, where is? We can wind up our session for day one. It was a very amazing session. And to wind it up, I would like to call our principal and vice principal to give away the certificates of participation. We'll just wait for maybe 2-3 minutes for our principal to join us. Till that time, anyone would like to say how this entire session was? maybe some few words of how amazing or how educative this entire session has been. Anyone from the audience who would like to tell anything? So, would you like to speak about how the session was?
Yeah, both the tracks were excellent, starting with the AI and then leading AI into education or parallel talks about education, trends in education. And it was informative, both panels, and got to know that still people believe on ancient wisdom and how it needs to be carried for the next generation. Thank you.
Anyone from the audience? Okay, I think we can begin with the distribution of points. We were waiting for you, sir. Please go. Firstly, I would like to call Mr. Gagan Jain and his co-author, Ms. Shraddha Jadhav. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much. Architect Akshata Naik, Ms. Nivedita AS, and also thank you so much, Architect Akshata Naik, for being one of our panelist members. Ms. Harshita V, Ms. Komala DS, and Mr. Suraj VS. Next, Professor Sushant J, along with his co-author, Mr. Gagan Jain, and Sai Puneet Dhamal. Our author, Mr. N.D. Sherpa, co-author, Mr. Rohit Sherpa, Mr. Manoj Jain. Ms. Savita K.S. and co-author Mr. Shahul Hamid. Architect Mahesh Shirolkar and co-author Dr. Shraddha Jha. And also thank you so much for being part of the community. Thank you so much. And lastly, Mr. Anthony for be there with us as a panelist and a reviewer. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all the presenters and everyone for being here with us. It has been a memorable day one. For day two, we have keynote speakers like Dr. Vandana Bhandari, Dr. Pragati, and Manasi Jo. The tracks for tomorrow that will be discussed are design, culture, and society, and intersectionality between nature, land, and design. With that being said, we can wind the session up. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice evening. Before that, the most important part, we have tea set up there so everyone can go and enjoy that. So thank you very much. Have a good evening.